Hello, this is Lori with Rock & Co Crafts. I want to thank you for joining me. Today's video is a special video. This marks my first anniversary on YouTube. And today I hope to share with you not only the projects that I'm making, and I'll explain what those are in just a minute, but I want to share with you some of the challenges, the pitfalls, and my overall experience for my first year on YouTube. And in order to do that, I am going to I will work on the projects, but I am probably going to narrate over a little bit just so that I can concentrate on what I want to share with you. But for today's projects, I'm going to make a keychain, and I actually want to pour some of this is the red neon powder. I really like that red neon. I want to pour it in a keychain with a little arrow, and this I poured with white so that I'd have it ready, because I'm going to make myself a YouTube 1 year keychain. That's what I plan on doing with that. And on this one, let me move this is the Let's Resin Chunky Square Geometric Mold, and I'm going to actually make a Christmas gift in this one. Now I have several rocks here. Let me just kind of put them on that side because there's quite a few. About 2 years ago, I purchased a rock tumbler, and some of these rocks actually came with the tumbler, and some of them I picked up outside. But what I want to do is I want to make a chunky coaster using rocks, and this is a personalized gift for someone near and dear to my heart that loves rocks just like I do. So that's what I plan on doing with this one. So what do you say? Let's go ahead and get this party started. I started this channel on November the 3rd, 2024, and I posted the first video on November 9th, 2024. This video will be coming out on the 7th of November, 2025, so it's like right in the 1 year mark. Now, when I first started, I had absolutely no knowledge of lighting, cameras, editing, any of that. And my personality being very shy and introverted, I was definitely stepping out of my comfort zone to get in front of the camera. Now, since then, I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot more about lighting and cameras and audio and editing. However, there's still a long ways to go. I mean, if you watch those first videos, you will notice that the lighting is real bad, and so is the camera. And me personally, when I watched the first couple of videos, I can definitely hear the nervousness in my voice. Now, since then, I have gotten a little better lighting, a little bit better camera, and I'm still trying to work with all of that. Now, I would love to be able to get a really good camera, but right now that's just not in my budget. But I have been trying different lighting angles and so on, and still I still don't have it down. It's going to take me a minute to do that, but it's only been a year, and I have learned so much this year that I am hoping that next year is just another year of tremendous growth. There are some pitfalls, though, and I want to talk a little bit about those. And I'm going to start with analytics. Now, analytics, they're both helpful and they can be discouraging. It just depends on what you focus on. You know, my current stats on analytics, let me give you that first. Now, you need 500 subs and 3,000 watch hours in order to meet that first tier of monetization, and I don't even know what that tier includes because I haven't met it yet. unfortunately, I started just looking at that way too much, because when I first started, it wasn't about that. It's just about enjoying the journey. Now, currently, I do have 369 subscribers and 1,926 watch hours. When I first started, I would have never even imagined that. So I'm thrilled and excited for those numbers. But I have caught myself from time to time getting caught up in the numbers. And you really don't want to do that. You know, how many views, how many likes, how many dislikes, how many view hours, how many subscribers. It can get discouraging. It kind of takes your mind or your passion from what you're enjoying. You're supposed to be enjoying this journey. And if you get caught up in the analytics, it will certainly suck the joy right out. So do not lose your joy. You know, I am constantly reminded by my biggest supporters that it's about doing what you enjoy and sharing it with like-minded individuals. And I want to thank everybody out there that watches my videos, that have subscribed, that comment. You have no idea how much the comments mean, especially on those days where discouragement seems to take over. It's just like a burst of joy. So I appreciate all the comments. Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to work real hard on not focusing so much on the analytics. Now, I do want to make sure that I'm putting videos out there that people enjoy, but at the same time, I don't want to get so caught up on the analytics that I'm losing my joy. I do not want to do that. There's a lot of challenges involved with the YouTube channel. I never even realized this. I've been one of those people that I love watching YouTube. I hardly ever watch regular TV. I like to watch YouTube, you know, whether that be how to do's, resin stuff. I mean, that's when I was first introduced to resin, was on a YouTube video. And for those people out there that, like, they may take you, let me see, good examples. You know, some people, they might be canning something, or they have a homestead, and they kind of take you along through what they're doing. I do not know how they do that. My camera sits still and I stand in one spot. I'm not taking it with me everywhere. I can't imagine all the work involved in making a video like that. So my appreciation for them has grown tremendously, because even with a stationary camera and working in one spot, there's a lot of work to not only setting things up, producing the items and the video, editing. There's just a lot of work to it, and I never realized just how much until I started doing it myself. So I have a great deal of appreciation out there for people who do this. But because there is so much work, another challenge is life balance. You know, I don't want to let my viewers down. I am so thankful for all of you, and you have brought me so much joy over the past year. I can't thank you enough for that. That being said, I am going to start. You probably noticed it last week and this week. You know, up to this point, I've been doing 2 videos a week. However, that's kind of messing up my life balance. So I think what I'm going to do is I still may put an extra video out there occasionally. But for the most part, I think I'm going to focus on Friday videos. Now, there still may be an extra one here and there, but I think you know, just all the work involved, and especially with the holidays coming up, I'm going to be extremely busy, and I don't want to feel pressured into, oh, I need to get one out on Tuesday and I need to get one out on Friday, and there's a lot of work to it. Not that I don't enjoy it, I do, but I don't want to lose my joy. I need to hang on to that because I absolutely love working with resin. I craft with different medium, and I have for years, but nothing has brought out the passion and the, oh, I don't even know what to call it. Extremely passionate about resin, and the floodgates of my imagination have just burst open. I still have a huge list of projects that I want to do, and that list just continues to grow. And that's a good thing. I'm not having any trouble with writer's block because I have so many projects that I want to do. But in conclusion, this first year has been an amazing learning opportunity. And I cannot thank you all enough for supporting this small channel, for watching, for liking, for subscribing, and for commenting. Your comments are cherished. I want to thank you again. And let's see. I'm kind of excited to see what comes about in the next year. So I hope you consider hanging in there with me and watching me grow through year number 2. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video in progress. Thank you again. I just want to make sure they're down. That one's up a little bit. I need for it to be down. I just love rocks and resin. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and let these set and start curing. And then I will come back when we're ready to put a dome on this, a sticker, and a dome on this. So I will see you shortly. The first thing I want to do is, let me kind of shuffle these around a little bit so that I can move this up. Oh, that one's heavy. And set that down there. And I want to see if I can get this number 1. And I may actually point it toward me so that I can try really hard to get it straight. So let me see if I can get it off of here. And on here, carefully, let me use my stick. And it's not much, but number 1, first year. Let me move the stickers out of the way. I mixed 60 milliliters of resin. I don't know if I'll use all of that or not, but again, I'd rather have too much than not enough. I'm going to try to carefully pour a little on here without making a huge mess. Let me get my gloves on. And I think I want to take my tool just to make sure that sticker is down, because I don't want it floating up. Unfortunately, I didn't have like a pound sign. I would have loved to have done that, but there's not one in the stickers. Ooh, you know what? I'm thinking maybe, let me take my gloves off again. And get these stickers again. I'm thinking maybe put an ST on there for like first. That way there's not so much blank either. So let me see if I can find the S and the T. PQRS. And get those on there straight. I'm probably just asking for trouble. It's hard to tell that that's an S, but it is an S. And here's a T. just because I want to fill that super blank space right there. And this first year has been definitely a learning experience. And I know, I mean, I love learning and I will continue to grow, I hope. But this first year has been an amazing journey. I am glad that even though I had thought about it for a while, it took me a cool minute to actually get brave enough to start the channel. And now I'm really glad that I did. And between learning the whole YouTube stuff and the cameras and all that, and learning how to use resin and getting hopefully better at my resin projects, it's kept my brain fresh instead of growing stagnant. Now let me put my gloves on. And I am going to try to pour a thin coat on this. And I'm trying to think of how to do it because I need to actually move things around. Or I feel like I do. Let me see if I can just scoot that closer. I want you to be able to see both projects. And scoot this a little closer. You're not going to be able to see me pour very well on this one, but you will see it. I'm afraid that after I pour the resin on this, if I try to move it, I'm just going to make one hot mess. Let me check again to make sure those stickers are down. I don't want them floating. And here we go. And I just need a really thin layer. I don't need much at all on this. I'm going to stop there and let it spread. Just make sure it gets in all the little nooks and crannies up here. And it looks like it's there. So I'm going to leave this one alone now. And go ahead and see if I can't get a dome on this one. And this should be enough to dome it. I just had a little room left. And hopefully not overflow. I just poured that on there like I owned it. I just absolutely love the way the rocks look in resin though. I absolutely love it. And to be able to, I love making Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, whatever. I love to make personalized gifts, and resin makes that so easy, to me anyhow, to be able to put things in a piece and create something for each individual personality. I still have several I need to make, not rocks of course, but several gifts that I need to make. Bubble, and it does look like it's domed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cure, and then I will meet you back here when it's time to do the unmolding and to put a little bit of hardware on that keychain. See you shortly. It's time to unmold. Let me go ahead and move these two rocks out of the way. I'm going to start with this one. I just love rocks and resin. Let's see if I can't get that off and move that out of the way. Now, something I did notice, and I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, there's a little bit of, it almost looks like, I know these rocks were washed, but it almost looks like maybe some debris came up from a rock. But beyond that, I just love the rocks in resin. They just look so pretty. It looks like rocks under the water. This blue one's really pretty. That's that one. Now let me go ahead, and I do have some hardware here so that I can put put together this keychain. And there's my little first year on YouTube, my little play button. I do want to thank you all so much for supporting me this past year. You have no idea just how much that means to me. This may not be big enough. I'm getting ready to find out. But I know that I enjoy doing this, and it's so nice to be able to share the experience with other people that enjoy it as much. My family does support me in their own ways, but they're not into, they like to see the resin pieces, but they're not into resin or some of the crafting that I do. So I want to thank you all for supporting me this past year, and hope that you continue to move forward with me as I work on more projects, learn a whole lot more. I don't know that I'll ever be a master of resin, because I'm just amazed at how much I've learned this year, not just with the resin, but the YouTube stuff. If there's one thing I do know for sure, though, this is not going to be big enough. If there's one thing I do know for sure, is that I don't know a whole lot more than I do. Let me move this out of the way, because that is not going to be big enough. I'll need to make a ring for it, because this is a bit on the thick side here. But this can either be used as a display or a coaster. And I do have the little rubber bumpers that can be put on the bottom as a coaster. But this is my 1-year YouTube button, and hopefully in another year I'll be making one that says second. I want to thank you again for watching. I definitely want to thank you for supporting me this past year, and hope you continue with me into year number 2. Let me know what you think of the projects in the comments below. Thank you again for watching, and do please consider hitting the like, share, and if you haven't already, the subscribe buttons. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Thanks.